So this video is going to be strictly informational. I was originally going to talk about the guitar and then play a few Queen songs just to give you a feel what it sounds like and stuff, but I'm not going to do it in this video for several reasons. One, as you could probably obviously hear, the sound quality is not good. Over 4 years of dropping this phone on the hard cement, now my microphone has this weird buzz humming sound in the background, and this video alone is probably annoying enough with that. So when I get a new phone, I'll do a separate playthrough video later on. But the reason why I'm doing the video now instead of waiting for the phone is because the last video I uploaded, I've gotten way more feedback than I was expecting maybe like 12 views, like no comments and stuff, but views, I don't even have like 100 views or something. Well, maybe I do. I haven't checked, but I'm getting way more feedback than I expected, and a lot of it has to do with questions and stuff about the guitar, and that's understandable because when I first came across this, I was trying to YouTube, the guitar itself, and I found nothing. So yeah, I'm hyped to be the dude to kind of blow the whistle on this thing. For one, I'm super obsessed with Queens of the Stone Age, and two, I've always wanted a motor app. Maybe one of these days I'll buy the real thing, but right now this scratches my itch. So, this video is just going to be what to expect, and in some cases, what not to expect when ordering this guitar. So let's start when I first came across it and ordered it. Probably like you, I went down the Motor Ave rabbit hole and, fantasizing buying, a custom-made one, and I kept on seeing on the top left corner the real Motor Ave guitar for like $350, like $380. I'm like, this has got to be a scam website. If you put your money in and they just run off with it. But eventually, the curiosity got the best of me, and I'm like, what is AliExpress? I've never heard of it before. Of course you Google it, and yeah, it's a Chinese knockoff website, like Wish or something like that. I'm like, oh. So the guitars are probably really cheaply made, and you probably can't get much out of them. But so I went down the YouTube rabbit hole of AliExpress guitars, and there's a guy who does a lot of AliExpress guitar reviews and stuff, and I've never really heard him say anything completely negative about the guitar. So I'm like, okay, some were better than others, some looked better than they sound, some sounded better than they looked, but they were decently made for the price. I'm like, okay. Like I said, I always wanted one of these guitars, so I'm like, less than $500 to get a Motor Ave shape that I can probably upgrade and make it sound like it should. Okay. So, put it in my cart, press checkout, and, a few minutes after that, I get a message from the seller, and he had sent me, like 5 to 8 photos of the real guitar, one from the front, one from the back, one from the angle, from the side. And it was probably obvious to you, it was not obvious to me, is the stock photos in the AliExpress website is pictures of the real Motor Ave guitar. I guess that's how they lure you in or whatever. So that took the wind out of my sails just a little bit, but I'm looking, I'm like, okay, the pickguard is a little shaped different. Tailpiece is the design is not as elaborate as the real deal. The one thing that did kind of throw me off was the picture, the way it looked on the back. I don't know if I can make it look like it, but the back looked bubbled out, like it was some cheap dreadnought acoustic guitar or something like that. I'm like, ooh, I don't know what I think about that. But what made me cancel my order, which I did cancel my order, by the way, was, so I got a couple photos of from the angle of the hole or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm digging it. And straight on, I notice the hole doesn't have any binding. I'm like, ooh, okay, that's a deal breaker for me. So I canceled my order. And, you give a reason why you cancel order or whatever. I said, I wanted the binding on the hole or whatever. So cancel order, delete my AliExpress app because I don't want to be spammed with a bunch of shit. I just kind of want to move on with my life. But I deleted it. I was kind of bummed. I'm like, why did I do that? I should just checked it out. And if I really didn't like it that much, I probably could have moved it on Reverb or eBay really quick. So, but I was like, whatever. What's done is done. I probably saved myself a headache. 8 or 9 days go by, and I get an email confirmation saying your order has been shipped, and you'll see it within a month or whatever. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Now I'm thinking this really is a scam website, because I canceled my order, and so I re-download the app, the AliExpress app, and I go, and I see day after I sent that cancel order and the message saying I kind of wanted binding around this thing. In broker's English, he basically sends me, say, oh, there's binding. And, of course, he sent me the pictures of all the binding around the guitar, which, don't get me wrong, this looks great. I'm so glad it's like that, because it would have been really lame if it wasn't. But that's not what I was talking about, but I was excited. I was going to get it anyways, because I was really bummed. Like I said, I canceled it or whatever. But to kind of combat that, I'll get into all the upgrades and stuff. But one of the upgrades I'm going to do to kind of make it my guitar, I had ordered cream-colored pin striping, kind of like the racing stripe kind of decal stuff. And I'm going to make my own binding around this thing when I get time. I don't have time now, but when I do, I'll be sure to do something with it or make a video maybe. I don't know. Maybe you don't care. Anyways, what to expect. So, yeah, I'm sending. Over a month later, I get this styrofoam coffin in the mail. And I'm hyped. My roommate's there. He's like, because I've been waiting for this for a while now. Drag it in. Open up the coffin. It's buried in styrofoam. The box itself is styrofoam. Chinese lettering and custom papers all over and stuff. So the first thing I noticed when I'm pulling this thing out, I was really curious about this because I thought it was going to be like a cheapo, light, easy fall apart thing. But the first thing I noticed when I was picking it up out of the neck, I'm like, yes, I noticed the heftiness on this guitar. That's why I was hoping, because I'm one of those guys who loves heavy guitars. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, my back, my neck. I love a sturdy, hefty guitar. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It makes me feel like I play better or whatever, but I just love the feel of it. So the first thing I noticed, how heavy it was. I'm like, yes, strike one on that. On the pros, pull it out, and from what I saw, things were looking great. I was wondering about the tuners, the Imperial Grover tuners, which obviously they weren't. They were Chinese knockoff. These are the real deals. I put the real stuff on it, but it looked exactly the same, only it didn't have the Grover stamp on it. I'm like, yeah, cool. I was wondering what kind of, if it would hold a tune or not, but another thing, obviously, you'd probably expect that the strings are cheap and fake, and immediately I took those off. I'm like, nope. And I noticed when putting on the new strings, I'm like, oh, okay. So the first of all, the string through plate kind of sticks out, which, whatever. Not a huge deal breaker, but like the knobs and stuff with the string kind of rub. You don't really feel it. Your body's more over here, but that's just something I noticed. But you get what you pay for. But so it was fairly decent or easy to restring. But immediately first playing or whatever. I mean, you put new strings on anyways, it takes a little bit to keep the thing in tune, but yeah, you even look at this guitar sideways, you're going out of tune. So, I'd like to make a video of what this thing originally sounded like, but half the video would be me, like, struggling with the tuning on this thing. Obviously, as you probably expected, it comes with plastic nut. I've since put, I filed down my own bone nut, so that's replaced. What else? Okay, another thing. So what it originally comes with is 3 chrome knobs. Yeah, 3 chrome knobs is what it came with. Which it looked nice, looked decent, but the pictures I've seen with Josh, like, it's usually the chrome or the aluminum pickguard with the black knobs or whatever. So I'm like, when I change that, obviously I'm going to put black knobs on it. But the thing to realize, which besides the obvious, which obviously the pots are cheap and small and crappy, is 2 of those 3 knobs, this one and this one, or at least on my guitar, are dummy ones. So all you have is a volume knob, which is in the middle. So don't expect any kind of tone adjustment or anything like that. So I've since put full-size 500K pots in. The pickups actually sounded decent. They sounded decent. Like, I would have kept them on there had they been wax potted, but they weren't, so they were screeching a lot. And yeah, but they sounded fine, but yeah, those had to go. Anyways, I wanted to do the specs as close as to the original Motor App guitar as possible. So I noticed on the website he says he puts what was it, Wolf Tone Dr. Vintage pickups. So that's what I got. I ordered some of those. And if you're thinking about doing the same thing, the guy's got like a 20 or 25% discount going on everything on his website. You can Google the discount code, but yeah, I got mine for quite a bit off. What else? Yeah, I don't know what else. Well, the pickups. If you're planning on changing the pickups, I'm gonna tell you right now, the cavity in here, you're gonna be struggling. At least I was struggling to get these pickups in. It's pretty narrow, but you can get them in there. Obviously, you gotta fight them. A lot of questions I was getting besides the frets. Are they sharp? Well, they're not the sharpest things in the world, but yeah, they're a little jagged, but they're not that bad. Nothing a little tiny filing can't fix immediately. But the main question I was getting a lot was the pick guard, and that was my thing too. I'm like, is this going to be a paper thin piece of shit? Like, that's what I was thinking immediately. I mean, how big it was, but easily scratchable and whatnot. But I am really pleased to say one of the favorite features of this guitar is the pick guard. As soon as I saw it, I mean, straight on, it doesn't look like much, but you can see how thick that sucker is, and it doesn't scratch easily either. I am very pleased with the pick guard. Oh, another thing, when you're wiring the pickups or whatever, if you're doing it or whatever, make sure you do them correctly, because pulling this pick guard off, on and off to fix stuff is annoying. I didn't realize the Wolf Tone pickups, the wiring colors were backwards, and when I first, it was all out of phase, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so yeah, this, like I said, it's a hefty guitar. I waited before I turned on the camera, about 9 pounds. Yeah, no, it looks great. I know, like, the main question is it worth not only the price, but the weight, and then the few extra $100 or so to put in you're a Queens freak, like I know you probably are because you're on this video for a reason. Yeah, it's so worth it, in fact, that I noticed they had a red version of this with, I think it's a black pickguard. Yeah, I think I'm going to get the red version and struggle with all the upgrades and stuff like that. So I can keep this one in E standard and do all the, you know, like clockwork kind of songs, and then with the red one, I'm gonna have it keep it in C standard, so I can do like the songs for the deaf type of songs and stuff. But yeah, I'm very happy. I mean, you can see kind of like fingerprints and stuff all right now, but this thing wipes down really easily. I want to say I love this guitar right now because, you know, I'm busy a lot and I just haven't had time to build a relationship with this thing, but I can see myself loving this guitar for sure. Yeah, if you're thinking about getting it, yeah, just do it. It really isn't that expensive, and I'm sure with, you know, the information that's getting out now, I wouldn't be surprised if they start raising the prices on them, so you better get them while the getting's hot. So, yeah, thanks for checking out my video, and I'll do more later on as far as playing and stuff goes, if anyone cares about that. But, yeah, go get your own. You won't regret it, seriously.